Hi guys, this is just a quick intermediate practice for everyone that wants to keep up mobility and flexibility while I'm gone. So please come and join me for this 10-15 minute practice. So we're going to place our feet towards the earth, have our heels towards the outer heels pressing down, lifting the inner arches of the feet, and just feel how we become really strong in our legs. Our tailbone slightly tucks and the shoulders roll away. With your palms facing slightly forward, you might want to close your eyes, tuck your chin back so we start to align our energy centers as we breathe up and down our spine. Giving a little bit of space to center, and you probably feel your body wobbling around just a little bit from left to right, and that's okay, just finding balance in every given moment. You might want to move and exaggerate that, moving forwards, backwards, a little bit to left, a little bit to right. And just find your center as your heart slightly and slowly aligns over the rest of the energy centers. Take a few deep breaths. Feel your feet grounded, your kneecaps continue to lift, your heart lifts, your shoulders drop. Allow your jaw to relax, so that allow your facial muscles to relax. Arriving in this practice, in this space, wherever you might find yourself. Taking another 2 or 3 breaths here, grounding and feeling in towards your body. Keep your legs activated, your heart open. 2 more deep breaths. Feel how you're breathing up from the toes and down towards the toes, all the way to the crown of the head and out from the crown of the head. And then on your next exhale, tuck your chin under and feel the back of the neck lengthen. Keep your heart lifted and feel the nice neck stretch. From here, open up your eyes and let your ears slowly roll over towards the left. So you get a nice neck roll, and then slowly come back towards the center and roll your neck over towards the opposite side. Coming back towards the center, rolling over. And one more time, coming back to the second side. And then from here, tuck your chin under, bring your gaze forward, press your heels towards the earth, engage the core, and with your breath, reach the hands up high, and on the exhale, bring your hands low. Breathing up nice and wide, spread the fingertips, lengthen your arms, press your heels towards the earth, and breathe out. Let's do this 3 more times. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Our focus here is to elongate the spine and lifting the rib cage off the hip. One last one, taking a deep breath in, reaching up high, creating that space. Interlace the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. Ground your feet towards the earth, particularly through the heels, and shoot your tailbone down as your heart lifts. The shoulder blades might come behind the heart a little bit, and then you work your bottom rib in to keep your solar plexus aligned with the rest of the energy centers. From here, we're going to take a deep breath in here, and on the exhale, we'll gently reach over towards the left. So maintain the length, particularly on the left side that you're leaning into, and press through the left leg equally. Maybe you look underneath your right armpit and take a couple of deep breaths. I'm not 100% sure how this is recorded. It might be the opposite side, but that's okay. Which side you do first or not doesn't really matter. Coming back towards the center, use your core strength for that, and then we're going to bend over towards the other side. Remember, you want to create that space through the right side by pressing through the right heel and maybe looking underneath the left armpit. Press the palms up, give yourself that space, anchor your body, and allow your breath to bring the movement in. Coming back towards the center, release the arms by the side. And we're going to take another deep breath in. This time we're going to bring the right leg in front of the left. Ground through the right heel as well. You can take your left hand towards your right wrist. Keep your chest and hips parallel and open towards the front of the mat. And then while you elongate your spine on both sides, also on the left, look up towards the beautiful blue sky of Port Douglas or your ceiling. Another deep breath in. Deep breath out. Nice big stretch. Engage your core to come back up and release, so we can swap over towards the opposite side. So the left leg goes over. You take your right hand towards your left wrist. Align your shoulders and your hips and your belly button to the front edge of the mat, and just feel how you can become really long here, looking underneath the left armpit, breathing that power and strength in. Bring some weight into the left heel too, the front heel. Taking 3 long breaths here. Enjoying that openness in the body. Beautiful, safe practice, as long as you keep on engaging your core. Coming back towards the center, bring the hands out and behind you, clasping your hands and bringing the thumbs pointing down towards the base of the spine. From here, pull the shoulder blades back. Really feel how you open up through the chest, and don't let your hips and your chest pop out like this, but pull them back in so you maintain that length and balance throughout the spine. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees and rest our torso on the thighs. And then from here, you might let your head drop, the crown of the head come down. Press the weight in towards the heels, lift the inner arches of the feet, and lift your fist in the opposite direction where your head is falling. So a lot of us hold a lot of tension here. Take a deep breath in and out through the nose and out through the mouth, so that you can facilitate a little bit of a drop of your body, releasing through the lower back. Taking 3 more deep breaths here, and you can play around with some really deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting your body drop into this space. 1 more deep breath. And letting go. Beautiful. If you're not at the front of your mat now, walk yourself to the front of the mat. Elongate your spine as you pull the shoulder blades back, and check that your lower back is quite long and wide. From here, bend your knees and reach your hands up. Again, we want to shoot our tailbone down, squeeze our inner thighs together, and just sit here a little bit lower while your knees are pulling back. You need to engage your core more and drop the shoulders away from the ears. Unclench your teeth here for another deep breath. On the exhale, bending your knees as much as you need so that your torso can rest safely on your thighs. Both hands towards the earth. Feel free to use some blocks here, and step your right foot far back in towards a lunge. Sometimes it can help you to move forwards and backwards and roll around a little bit, just to open up through the hip joint. And then drop your right knee down towards the earth for a moment. You can either have your toes up or down, whatever feels more comfortable. And ideally you have a block here underneath the right hand. I just don't have it available right now. Pull your left hip back and open up your chest with your left hand reaching up. So the right hand pulls down, and you want to work the shoulder blade under to open up the heart, and your left hand reaches up. Your left hip pulls back, so you elongate, and you might sink lower in towards the front knee, taking another 3 or so breaths. Feeling that expansion, keep your heart open. And then from here, you might release your left hand back and down, and reach it up. And as you create this movement with a circle here, see if you can bring your movement into the upper body rather than just the shoulder. Just 1 more deep circle here, opening up. And then place both hands to either side of the front foot. Tuck your back toe under and find that powerful lunge here. We can reach our hands forward. Ideally, you press from your back heel in towards your fingertips, bicep by the ears. Open your heart, drop the shoulders behind the heart, and lift your torso off your thighs. You're not resting on it. And then from here, open up into your high lunge. Sink a little bit lower, the heart drops over the hips. And I like to interlace my hands here and start to bring a little bit of movement. This is a bit advanced, so if you can't bring any movement in there yet, just feel that you maybe just moving the shoulders than just the upper body to to bring some movement in your thoracic and upper spine. And then coming back towards the center, so a couple of circles either way. And then from here, elongate your heart, your hands forward, and fold down into a one leg forward fold. So you might externally rotate the upper thigh a little bit, press to the ball of the big toe and the outer heel. You move your heart forward, and then you can drop your head down if that feels right for you. And take another 3 breaths. Continue to pull your left hip back and your right hip forward. One more deep breath here, surrendering and letting go. Then bend your front knee and step back into a high plank here for a moment. So in your high plank, you want to press your heels away, pull the shoulder blades away, pull the crown of the head forward, hug the bottom rib in, squeeze the inner thighs to find those deep core muscles, the lower ones. And unclench your teeth, keep your breath nice, wide and even. From here, you can drop your knees down towards the earth for an easy option and pull the shoulder blades back. Slowly pull the elbows back as well and come past your rib cage into half chaturanga. From here, you place your pubic bone down towards the earth, lift the chest, take the pressure off the shoulders and the hands into baby cobra, and on the exhale, bring your buttocks towards your heels and then all the way into downward facing dog. Our first downward facing dog today, so you feel like you want to wiggle around a little bit, elongate the spine. Go ahead, and your left leg might feel very different than your right. Roll the shoulders out, let your head drop. 3 long breaths here. And then from here, bend your knees. You can jump, step, walk yourself towards the front of the mat and elongate the spine once again. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees as much as you need. And then bend the knees, rise up all the way towards the top, elongating the spine. Exhale, release the hands by the side. Other side. So let's bend the knees, reaching up into a chair pose. Feeling the power here as we pull our knees back, squeeze our inner thighs, move the bottom rib in, drop the shoulders away, relax your jaw, deep breaths guys. Sit a little bit lower, some people call it intense pose. One more deep breath. On the exhale, fold forward. From here, lift and lengthen. On the exhale, step your left foot far back and towards a lunge. Maybe you drop your back knee down towards the ground, and we're just going to move a little bit through the hip here. I think we did this with a lifted leg before, but it doesn't make a big difference. And then from here, you pull your right hip back, your left hand stays on the ground, the left shoulder pulls back. Ideally, you use a block here that will help you to lengthen your spine more. And then reach your right hand up. You might bring your gaze towards the right hand. Check that your hip pulls back rather than point sideways. And find some really deep breaths here. And your idea here is to open up your heart. Take another deep breath here. Deep breath out. And then from here, release your hands back down and reach up again. So we're going to do 3 or 4 big circles, opening up not only our shoulder, but moving that movement into the thoracic spine as well. One more. The hips stay relatively stable here. And then we'll place both hands down towards the earth, lift the back knee off the ground. Maybe you need to wiggle around a little bit to make it work in your body. And then reach your fingertips away from the heels, hugging the belly button in. Feel how you use your core muscles to maintain strength and length through the back. Another deep breath in here, deep breath out. And then from here, rise into a high lunge. So your heart pulls over your hips, you sink low. And then we interlace the fingers. And this might be your option here. Or you can start entertaining, bring some movement into the upper back with some circles through the upper body. So if you do this practice twice, well, before you start, maybe you should bring some movement while standing in Tadasana and doing this kind of stuff to warm it up. One more time. All right, and then from here, we're going to straighten our front leg, pulling this right hip back, reach ourselves forward. Use your blocks as you need to place your hands towards the earth. Elongate your spine forward, and then with that length that you create, then you can let your head drop and fall. And take a few moments here to breathe. 2 more. Letting go, surrendering here, and one leg forward fold over the right leg. And then bend your front knee. Elongate the spine, engage your core to step back into a downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders out, keep them out. As you move forward into a high plank, your easy option is bringing the knees down towards the earth, or coming into a full chaturanga. So your knees stay off the ground, your heart moves forward, your shoulders pull back. Upward facing dog, make sure that your thighs stay off the ground and your core stays engaged. And then pushing back into downward facing dog, or what we've done previously where we did baby cobra and then move through child's pose or extended child's pose back into downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders out. Find an openness through the body. 3 more breaths. 1 more. And then bring your knees down towards the earth. Lift and lengthen through the chest in your cat. On the exhale, curl back into a cow. Bring in a little bit of movement in your body after these strong strength poses. So this is an intermediate practice. Level 2, we went straight into it. And then come into a child's pose. Take a few moments here to drop in and feel how your body feels. After all this strength and stretching in all directions. Drop in here and feel how your breath expands and releases. And then slowly come up into your fours and find your way to your lower back. So you want to lay down on your back and your lower back presses in towards the earth. So coming to more of the delicious part of the class, although isn't it all delicious? The feet are hip width apart, maybe wider, endowed, especially if you have lower back issues. I've got my eyes closed because otherwise I'm looking straight in towards the sun. And we're going to lift our tailbone off the ground and start to unfurl our spine until we kind of become one line from the shoulders to the knees. It really helps me, and it might be available to you, to wiggle the shoulders under so you can bring the outer shoulders towards the earth and press them down. Your tailbone shoots towards the knees, you squeeze the inner thighs together and find that beautiful elongation through the spine rather than a back bend. Yeah, so we want to lengthen the front body as much as we lengthen the back body. And then you might bring a block in between your thighs. Why would you want to do that? So that your hips stay aligned. But if you can focus on that they stay aligned, just lift your right leg up in the air, hold for a couple of breaths and try to maintain balance with the shoulders and hips. And then release that leg down, reset the hips, engage your pelvic floor to maintain the balance here between left and right. Elongate, open up with your breath, with your experience, and release that foot down towards the ground. Lift up. If you want to come into your wheel, take 3 or 4 breaths into your wheel, or stay here. If you wanted to do a wheel, just let's do 3 breaths here. The hands come by the ears, you push yourself down, your tailbone shoots towards the heels to open up your lower back. Another deep breath in, deep breath out. Wherever you are, slowly tuck your chin under and come on down. If you were in your bridge with the hands clasped, make sure that you release them and come back down towards the earth. Bring one hand towards your heart, one hand towards your belly. Feel how you can drop in and Calm your whole nervous system down now with a deep breath in and a release, sigh out. Walk your feet as wide as the mat and maybe a little bit further down than you would naturally place them. And let both knees fall over towards the left. Or your arms come out into a T position or a diamond position overhead, or even keep staying on your belly and your heart. You can bring your left ankle over your right thigh, starting to stretch out through the hip joint here. Check that it's okay with your lower back as well. It stretches around there as well. Your arms are overhead. You bring a little bit more length in the spine, a bit more grounding if your arms are out towards the side. So see what's right for you. Play around with it. It's your practice. And allow yourself a few deep breaths here up and down the spine. Really winding down this practice now. So although I move on this practice quite quickly from here on to finish the video, feel free to stay here longer. It's totally fine to stay here like 2-3 minutes in this pose and really allow yourself to drop into the earth. So you can turn the video off or follow me as we uncross our leg and coming back towards the center and having the feet nice and wide as the mat, and drop all the way over towards the opposite side. Make sure it feels all good in the back, in the hips. And if you want a little bit more, you cross your bottom ankle, the right ankle over the left, and take some really elongating breaths through the spine here as well. So I like to imagine that I lengthen the spine and surrender on the exhale. Beautiful practice when it's not only strong but also when we can fully drop into what is and the forces that are pulling us, in this case gravity and the sun in my eyes. I wouldn't have it any other way. And if you did a longer hold in the other side, feel free to do so on this side as well. Beautiful way of softening the body and the intention of the practice. Otherwise, take the leg away. We're going to just lengthen. Well, actually, let's hug the knees and towards the chest. And when I say that, I actually ask often to bring your shins parallel towards the ground and just move a little bit from side to side. So rather than like curling yourself up, I want you to feel your whole buttocks and hips and lower back on the ground, middle back on the ground, so that when you roll from side to side, you just feel all the vertebrae being touched. And then you can curl up a little bit if you like, and then you only feel a few vertebrae being compressed on the ground, yeah, and that's okay too, just lengthening the back out. And then come into your Shavasana, lengthening the legs out, wiggling the hips, rolling the shoulder blades away, tucking the chin. Oh, we're here into resting pose. Beautiful opportunities to integrate what we just created, that space and that strength that we just created in our body. Give yourself at least 5 minutes in this practice. Drop in, listen to your heart. Turn off this video now. Rest a little bit longer and then go about your day. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and I hope to see you on the mat again soon. Namaste.